Hello, my name is Jackson McGregor, and I'm here today to talk about Japan. Now, historically, Japan has endured many invasions from imperialistic China and what is now known today as Korea. Japan is a very firm believer in religion, and it's very tied to their cities, as even though they're technologically advanced, they still have place in their country for their holy shrines and temples that they will go to pray every day or over the new year, and it's seen for good fortune and it's good patriotism as well, on top of being tied to religion. But they got their religion from China, as when Chinese people migrated over to Japan, they took with them their religion. So you have these prominent religions like Shintoism, Confucianism, and Buddhism that are all philosophies and religions that came from Japan. But when you talk about the people that moved over, you also have your indigenous people, like the Ryukyuans from the Ryukyu Islands, known today as present-day Okinawa, the prefecture of Okinawa. And you have the Ainu, which are indigenous to the Hokkaido, which is the second largest island in Japan. The Japanese language, as well as their written language, which is they have three different systems of written language, which is the kanji, the hiragana, and the katakana, which are also a part of their language. It's just more written than actual speech. But yeah, geographically, this affects sports because you have these natural disasters like typhoons and monsoons and tsunamis that will come in, and so that eliminates all water sports, and it also makes it harder for leisure sports that are more outdoor sports to take place. But it doesn't affect their current sports because they are very firm believers in war, and they are very patriotic. So most of their sports, besides baseball and soccer, are martial arts sports like kendo or sumo or judo. But yes, kendo is also one of my examples. Kendo is a sport which is known as the way of the sword, and it's tied to their samurai way, and it's what the samurai is known as the Japanese soldier, which is what they use to fight off imperialistic China. So their sports are very patriotic as well as religious. Their sports are all tied to the state of the country, and the strong bond for their country is what helps them drive themselves with sports. But yes, for popular sports and athletes, baseball is one of the most prominent sports today in Japan, and it mainly stems from their very high view of the Western world and America, and so they love the MLB and everything about it. So for their baseball league, they have their own set of stars and teams known as the Hanshin Tigers and the Yomiuri Giants. But the players that come from Japan, that are both from Japan and play in Japan, are players that we know today, like Shohei Ohtani. He plays for the Los Angeles Dodgers. You have Shota Imanaga, Roki Sasaki, Munetaka Murakami, and other players of this nature. They're all either Japanese players who came from Japan to play in the Major League Baseball League in America, or they still play in Japan. But most people know these household names. And also the opportunities to barrier. So for Japan specifically, it's not too different from every other part of the world. They have a very big struggle in women's sports, and mainly soccer. Women's soccer has it has less than a physical barrier. It's more of a financial barrier and attention that they're getting. They don't get much attention, and they don't get sponsors or financial support, and it even helps or hurts for broadcasting. And this is kind of a very big thing in Japan, because the men are the main focus of pretty much every sport, and women have it a lot harder. But it's hurtful for the women in sport because they have less opportunities, and scouts don't come to look at them as much for women's sports. But the future of the sport is pretty bright because Japanese stars are coming left and right into the baseball leagues in America, and also in other sports like in soccer. Japan is pretty good, and they also won the World Baseball Classic last year in baseball. So the future of sports for Japan is very bright, and they've been doing this for a long time now. They've also seems to adapt as well, and I think that we'll start to see more of unorthodox sports. Like we might start seeing baseball or cricket. We might start seeing cricket players or a cricket team form from Japan that might rise up, or we might start seeing other things because Japan just seems to have a knack for sports.